Alright, so this video is going to be about 2-inch kit versus a 4-inch kit, which one's the right kit for you, and what is all included and entails. With that aside, this is a little bit of re-upload due to me forgetting. This is my page, Facebook page right here. This is what it looks like, SGCF Road. This is my Instagram, @SGCF Road. This is the email. So if you have any questions, you want to order the kit, shoot me a message and whatever. But the Facebook, that guy, that will have the current prices on the lift kits, and you can message me for the shipping quote, because the things change all the time due to the material costs, plus with COVID it mess all kinds of things up, so the prices get adjusted as they have to be. So I'm not going to put that in the video. So there you guys go. Let's get into the video. From SGCF Road. So today we're going to talk about the what lift kits is right for you and what are the options and what do they look like. Behind me I have the 4-inch lift, which uses the parts off the 2-inch lift, so they're more or less crossover compatible, and you can upgrade your 2-inch lift if you like to a 4-inch lift later at a less cost. So right here I kind of have it separated. Right here's the 2-inch lift parts, here's the 4-inch lift parts. And we will talk about things, which lift is right for you, because that's going to depend what you want to do and how you want to go about it. So short gist of this is 2-inch lift if you are on a 33 inch tire and some light overlanding, light off-road. You don't need extreme clearances or nothing like that. 4-inch if you are on 34, 35s and you want to get into some heavy stuff, do Rubicon trails, things like that, then you'll need this whole full set. So this is what everything comes with. So here we have the 2-inch lift, and here you have the front strut spacers. We have the rear spring spacers, air spring or coil spring, doesn't matter. We have the rear shock spacers. We have the camber bolts that go in the front struts to correct the angle, so you have proper alignment afterwards, so you don't have bad tire wear, shakes, things like that. And you also will get the hardware that's needed to mount all this together. And for the 4-inch lift, we have all of this going on. This is why it's something you can do it as an upgrade kit. It's been updated, plus extra. So the extra things that are going on, we'll start with the front. We have new thrust arm brackets to relocate the arms a little bit lower, so we have better suspension angles and performance. New control arm brackets. These are weld-on items, and they, as you notice, they cut right to fit one way, and they get welded on in place. And then we have for the tie rod kit, this is a joint. These are rebuildable parts internally wise. Here's the tie rods. As we relocate the tie rods to the top of the knuckle to improve the steering angles, so you don't have any issues with that. So you don't get that bump steer situation going, nothing like that. And then we also have lower spring spacers for the front struts as well. So these guys go up in the bottom, and they space the spring upwards from the bottom, because you do lose 2 inches of travel in the front when we do the 4-inch upgrade kit. And the last part is going to be the plastic machine spacers that get epoxy at the top of the strut to help extend the bump stop on the inside to compensate for the lower spring spacer we put on in the first place. Now for the rear, with the 4-inch kit, we have the new subframe spacers. They're going to drop the rear subframe down. We have carrier bearing spacers to lower that down to correct the U-joint angle, so we don't have any vibrations in the driveline. The new needed bolt kit, and you also will get a longer set of shock spacers. Since the kit's lower, so we need to drop the shocks a little bit further down. The only thing you'll have to do with the 4-inch is different versus the 2-inch, outside of welding brackets on a couple extra parts, is you do have to modify the rear exhaust, because the rear subframe got lowered, so the exhaust goes right under the subframe. We will have to cut that and modify that, so that's something to keep in mind. You will have to have either modified or custom exhaust from that point forward. Alright, so let's get into a little bit more detailed information. 2-inch or 4-inch lift, what's the difference? Well, we already know what the difference is. Which one do you need? Which one do you want? So 80% of you guys will be covered with the 2-inch lift and 33s. And I'm not trying to oversell, upsell things. I'm just being straight up with you. 4-inch lift is if you want to have the best possible clearance and off-road capability. But at that point you're at the level of basically of a Jeep running 37s, things like that. So here I'm gonna have a couple pictures here for you to look at, and that's gonna break down the reasons why 2-inch lift will cover pretty much everybody. Range Rover, I'll be using the Jeep JK as an example as a comparison chart wise, and that's the independent suspension. So here we have the picture of the independent suspension, like a little quick shot. Here's the picture of what the Jeep has, which is solid axle. So independent suspension has way more clearance because you don't have this whole situation going on here in the middle of the vehicle, always in the way. I'm not going to make a long explanation. There's plenty of videos on YouTube for you to watch. The compares them, shows you the differences. But that is what the Range Rover advantage is. That's where its handling advantage is. That is where its off-road capability advantage is at. And yes, there's a certain benefits to articulation of the way it articulates on the solid axle. But again, there's other videos that cover this way better. And most of the time, to about 80% of people, it doesn't really matter that much. It's more when you do a lot of extreme off-roading, but different conversation. Cover you over the 4-inch because 4-inch lift better, more lift, more bear, ground clearance, more tire, which is true. But the reason why 2-inch lift will cover the most is here's the picture of the Range Rover numbers, here's the picture of the Jeep numbers, and I had to Google for the Jeep number for the ground clearance, and I'm gonna blow these two guys up so you guys can see them. So here, first, let's take a look at the Range Rover. Here we go. Here we're looking at the Range Rover. We're gonna ignore the whole, the turn signal, turn circle. I can talk today, hopefully, and all that aside. So what we're gonna really look at is which really matters a bit more, is its approach angle, its breakover angle, its departure angle. So straight off the bat, it loses to the Jeep in approach and departure angle. It just does, and that is because of the bumper design. And that's the way it's set up. So with the stock bumpers, with the stock setup, it just loses there. It's just the way it is. Now, where it does beat Jeep, and that is at the breakover angle. And that is because we have slightly better wheelbase and better body ground clearance. And that is because it has independent suspension. And the other thing we look at where it beats Jeep as well is ground clearance. In millimeters. So what we got here on the Range Rover is 275 millimeters versus the stocks Jeeps, which is about 250 millimeters. We have about an inch extra of ground clearance. Now let's look at the Jeep right here. Here we have the Jeep picture. So I don't have the ground clearance, it's not here, but I will say what it is, and that, like I said, it is 250 mil. So here we have better approach angle, better departure angle. Like I said, that is just the way the better design. But you can see the breakover angle is much worse. And why? And that is because of the whole frame situation there, which the Range Rover does not have, and the control arms and drive shafts that we don't have hanging down. So that changes its center ground clearance, which changes its breakover angle. And this is where we have our advantage. Now, one thing also to note, Jeep has 32s on it. We have 30s. I'm going to say this again. Our stock tire is a 30-inch high tire. Jeep has a 32-inch tire. So now, what does that leave us? This is where we go from here. 2-inch lift plus 33, so 32s, puts you at Jeep on 35s. Just like that. Actually, Jeep on 35s is a 2-inch or 4-inch lift for that matter. Why? Because again, the ground clearance issues. So we'll do like its 2-inch lift. It'll do it. It'll do a 2-inch, 4-inch lift on Jeep. You still have the axles and drivetrain and all that hanging down. You don't really increase much. You might get slightly better breakover angle by about an inch or two, but you'll still have all that stuff hanging down the middle. It didn't go anywhere. It's still there, because the drivetrain still hangs down, it's still there. On the Range Rover, we do a 2-inch lift. We don't have any of that. We're flat. We're independent suspension. We don't got none of that going on. So if we do that, you got 2 inches of clearance increase, just like that. Then we do a bigger tire. Again, increase in height by tire, because just how Jeeps get their height increase, their ground clearance increase, is mainly by tire, not by lift. We get it both ways. That is why 80% of you will be satisfied with a 2-inch lift and 33s. Extreme clearance and just say you got 35s on yours, and then you can tackle whatever the hell you can find on the road to tackle off. Oh, I mean off-road, I guess, in this case. That's why. And you know, if you want 4-inch lift 35s, you know you want a 4-inch lift 35s. You don't need to be told, you know, why do you need it to be explained. It's you want the biggest clearance and you want to have a 35 status. And you want to hit everything and everything you can see everywhere. But, you know, 2-inch lift for most majority of you, 30 days will cover. And I'm not trying to upsell and oversell. This is why I'm, you know, stating that exactly how it is. Because for me, it's just, you know, satisfy you, the customer. So whatever you want to buy, I'll sell it to you. And this video is just the explanation between the different kits, what all one comes with. And this is me here explaining you which one suits you better. And that's what you got to look at if you're doing light off-roading, or actually not light moderate off-roading, camping, things like that. Like I said, 2-inch lift and 33s covers you. If you want to do some extreme stuff, 4-inch lift and 35s would be probably what you would want to go to, depending on what your version of extreme is. So at that point, if you do doing 4-inch lift and 35s, you know, you probably should invest in some rock sliders and armor before you lift into the left. That's just me being honest. And not trying to, you know, oversell them, but you're a more expensive lift. You know, I do want to sell to you. But that said, you know, there's other things you need to upgrade in your vehicle to proper upgrade path. And, you know, I would look into rock sliders and body armor probably be more important than a 4-inch lift if you ask me. 2-inch lift, like I said, you can always, one things that, I didn't say it, I'm sorry. No, like I said, one of the things is we can upgrade the 2-inch lift now to a 4-inch lift. So you can always get a 2-inch lift. You can do your body armor, you can do all that stuff, and then you can go ahead and be like, hey, I'm ready for the 4-inch and 35s. Let's go. There you go. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe to the video, follow the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.